Hello Yele Nation. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make this versatile satin shirt. It can be dressed up like this with jeans and shoes, and it can also be worn by male, and it can even be worn as a sleep shirt if paired with like shorts like this. So you see that this shirt is very versatile and is good for you to know how to make it. So the first thing we're going to do is to get my satin fabric. So first of all, I want to apologize. This satin fabric is just 1 yard. I really managed it for this project. So for yours, get at least 1 yard and quarter. So you can see that my fabric is already on fold, and I'm just going to fold it again one more time like so, just in that kind of way. You see the extra space that I put in front of it, in front of the fold on right in front of me. I don't know if I'm explaining it well. So the fold right in front of me, I'm going to measure it. It's going to be about 2.5 inches, and then the main fold, I'm going to measure it and make sure that the biggest part of my body divided by 4, it's about, I think that's about 9 inches. So I have to make sure that that fold is greater than 9 inches, and it was about 10 inches, so I was good with that. So add extra 1 inch to the biggest part of the upper part of your body. The biggest part of the upper part of my body was 36. I divided it into 4, that was 9, added 1, that was 10 inches. So the next thing that I did was to measure the length of my shirt. Because I don't have much fabric, I just measured 24 inches. So this shirt is going to end up looking like a semi crop top, not really a crop top, but like a shirt crop. I don't even know the English to use for it, but you get what I mean, you get my drift. So at the top of my fabric, I'm going to measure 3 inches, then I'm going to measure 5 inches. This method is very common with all of my videos, so if you haven't seen the video of making a basic bodice pattern, you should go check it out. So on the 5-inch mark, I went down by 1 inch, and then after going down by 1 inch, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure the slant, which is representing my shoulder slant, from that 3-inch mark to the 1 inch below the 5-inch mark. Now at that point, I'm going to draw my armhole depth, which is my shoulder measurements divided by 2 plus 0.5 inches. So it was about 7.75 inches, and then I just squared it up. Now after doing that, I'm going to find the midpoint of my shoulder measurements. Now the midpoint that I'm going to use is about 3, and then I went down by 1 inch, so it ended up being about 4.25 inches or thereabout. At that point, I'm just going to go in by 0.5 inches, and then I'm going to draw a curve from my armhole pit then all the way to my shoulder line, just like I am doing it. I know that this chalk is not doing a great job, but please use your spiritual eyes to see what I'm trying to say. So at the other end, I went down by 1 inch, and then I just drew the curve. Now bearing in mind that the button down is going to be at the front, so that means what I just drew now is my back pattern. So is the front that has the extra 2.5 inches, but the back pattern has the normal fold at the back, instead of the other way around where the back is usually the part with the zip, but now the front is the one that is representing the zipper area, if you permit me to explain it like that. So I'm going to just cut out everything that I just finished tracing out like so, and now I have my front and back pattern, and I'm going to slice it open on that other fold right there, and then I have my back piece and my front piece. Now because this is a simple shirt, it is even a unisex shirt, so I don't really need to go in extra at that armhole point to take out the excess for the bust area. So that makes this shirt even way simpler, because there is no need for contouring of the armhole to differentiate between the front pattern and the back pattern. However, for the front neckline, we are going to still go down by extra 2 inches and then draw out our curve. So that means for the front neckline is going to be a 3 by 3, but remember that you added extra 2.5 inches in the front, so it's like a 3 by 5.5, but generally is a 3 by 3 inches neckline. So after doing that, I'm just going to go down a little bit just so I know where I want my lapel in front to stop. So at that point, I went down by about 4 inches, and then I went in by 1 inch. So I just slant out my lapel point like that, and then I took the remaining the line from the lapel point downward. I just took a straight line downwards. So that means my lapel point was 2.5 inches, but the rest of the down part of the shirt is 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch will be for the button overlap, while the lapel part has 2.5 inches. If you understand what I'm saying at this point, just say in the comment section. Okay, so now this is what it looks like. You see what I mean by where my lapel will stop and everything like that. So I have my front panel and I have my back panel, and now I am going to place them on each other, and I'm going to take them to my serger, because now I have serging power. I'm not just going to use any sewing machine. I'm going to use my serger. You people that are jealousy me way. But before we go to the serger to sew that part, we need a facing for my lapel area. Now this is where I wish I had more fabrics, because I really had to manage fabric for this lapel area, and it came back to bite me in the behind. Now I am trying to look at my fabric to make sure that my sleeve, I have enough fabric for my sleeve. So first of all, I just want to check that out, that I have enough fabric for my sleeve. Now I'm going to then cut out my lapel area. I know I should have even used more of this fabric for the lapel area, but I still had to cut my neck collar, so I had to be very careful with how much fabric that I use. But if you are making yours, make sure that your lapel is at least 5 inches wide. The what I use right now is about 3 inches wide, and like I said, it came back to bite me in the ass. So use at least 5 inches width of your lapel, and of course the length will be the length of the front part of your shirt. So I have cut out my tiny facing, my tiny lapel facing, and now I'm going to just sew it together with my shirt area. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm placing the facing on the lapel area like so that when I turn it inside out like this, the lapel that's going to show is going to be satin and not the plain fabric. So we're going to then take this to our serger. Look at me saying serger, and then we're going to serge everything sergeable together. Let's take it to the serger, and I'm going to show you what it looks like after I have finished serging. Now after serging, this is what I have. Abracadabra. So I have finished doing all of that, and you can see that I also sewed the facing of the lapel also, as you can see, and then I ironed it out to make it even smoother, and then I'm going to turn it inside out. That's why I said the lapel area should be at least 5 inches wide, so you can open up the lapel as much as you want. Now the next thing I want to do is to cut out my collar. I'm going to take my tape rule now and measure 2.5 inches away, because that 2.5 is my lapel area, and then I'm going to measure the rest of my neckline and also remove the 2.5 inches on the other side of the lapel. So you can just measure everything and remove 5 inches, because your lapel is going to be 2.5 plus 2.5, which is 5 inches. And then I add about 17 inches. So I'm going to put my fabric on folds and then measure 9 to 9.5 inches, because I want extra for allowance. So next up, I would square it up by measuring about 3.5 to 4 inches on both sides, and then draw a horizontal line across to square up my fabric. Then after doing that, I'm going to measure about 3¼ inches from the folds. That will be my back neckline. And then I'm going to then make sure that I measure that my fabric is up to the 9 to 9.5 inches that I need. And then I'm going to mark 9 inches straight up and make sure that it is a complete triangle. Now after that, I measured 1 inch up at the front, and then I'm going to join that 1 inch mark all the way to the 3/4 inches of the back neckline that I marked before. So at the top of it, I'm going to extend it a little bit just to give it a sharp neckline at the point, just to give it a pointy sharp neckline. And then I'm just going to cut out everything that I just finished talking about. I really apologize that the chalk is not as clear as I would like it to be. So anyways, please accept my apologies, my people. You know I got nothing but love for you. No, but love. All right, so after cutting out one of the fabric pieces for the collar, I'm going to have to cut another one out. You see me, I am managing this fabric. I'm praying and hoping for the best. Like every step of the way, I was like, I hope this fabric will be enough for this YouTube video. I really hope it. But you know, my people are praying for me. They are really praying for me, because the fabric was just about enough for this project. So anyways, I'm going to cut out the second piece of the collar, because I'm going to need both of them to turn each other inside out. If you get my drift, we're going to turn it inside out. Now for the color, because it's like a freestyle type of shirt, so we don't need a stay. But if you want the collar to be stiff, then you should probably add an interface, a stiff interface, to make it more stiff. Like if for like a shirt, you should add an interface. So after doing that, I stitched my fabric and my colors together and I ironed it out, and this is what I have. So the next thing now is to join my collar to my shirt's neckline. Now at this point, I'm going to fold my collar into two like this, and I'm going to fold the back of my shirt also into two like this, because I want to make sure that the middles match each other. Then I'm going to sew from the middle to one side of the shirt and from the middle to the other side of the shirt, as you are seeing me do. So you see the way I am putting it together, and I'm going to sew it all the way on both sides of my shirt. And if you notice that I opened the facing of the collar part just a little, just to make sure that the collar sits in very well on the facing area of it. So I hope you get what I'm saying. Like, even I feel like I'm speaking gibberish. But if you get what I'm saying, you get what I'm saying. So I did not use my serger for this. I used my regular sewing machine for this, because that serger has been giving me extra power. I've been having too much power and I've been doing nonsense self. In fact, like at this point, I feel like the serger is giving me power that I don't have. Anyway, so after sewing it with normal needle and thread, I then closed it up with the facing that I did previously, and then I'm going to just turn it inside out as you're seeing me do. And like I explained before, I really wish that my facing was more than it is right now. If it was more, it would have closed up a little bit better, and my collar would have sat way better, and I could have opened the shirt a little bit more. But it's okay, sha. We don't want to show too much cleavage anyway, so this shirt has made it okay for us not to. So after doing that, the next thing now is to cut out my sleeve pattern, or my sleeve. I already have a sleeve pattern video on my YouTube, so go check it out. I already made a full pattern, like it's a full pattern, and I've been using this pattern over and over and over again for my videos and for my clients' clothes and for my own clothes. So once you get the pattern, that's the end. All right, so after cutting out the pattern for a short sleeve, I then sewed the bottom of it, and we have it right now, and I'm going to just sew the sides together. I have sewn the sides together, and I'm trying to match it to my shirt, and then it's going to be matched seam to seam, the seam of the shirt to the seam of the sleeve. Make sure that the seams are matching, and then you just sew it all the way around. This one is very easy to sew because the pattern is just the back pattern. There is no contouring for the front pattern or everything, because the shirt is unisex. So after that, I went back to my serger for a few minutes to get serger power, and then I sewed the sleeve of one side together, and I'm going to repeat it for the other side. So I'm turning inside out so you can see what it looks like. You see my shirt is looking really nice. Oh my god, look at the gloss. Can you see the gloss? I can see the gloss. I hope you can see clearly now. So for the bottom part, for the hemming part, I just rolled it 0.5 inches and rolled it another 0.5 inches, and then I ironed it. This is satin. You have to iron everything ironable, because the fabric will not listen to you until you carry the power of the iron and iron on the on the fabric. So after doing that, for the neckline also, you could create a facing for it as well to face the neckline, because I just left it serged, because this shirt is a freestyle shirt. Like, even when I wear it safe, I'll wear it as a freestyle, like, no stress. But I didn't have enough fabric to create facing for the neckline, so you just have to bear with me. I know I apologized at the beginning of the video, and I'm apologizing again, but you can see our shirt is looking fine. Our shirt is looking beautiful. You can recreate this with a simple plain satin, like one simple color fabric. But you know me, I always like print, and that is why I recreated with this print. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Bye.